It's time now for Anderson Speedway's Track Talk. Catch up with everything that's going on at Anderson Speedway with Rick Dawson and Gary Mong.
Hello.
Is that our chatter?
That's our chatter away, according to Wade. Welcome to Anderson Speedway's Track Talk. Rick Dawson, Gary Mong. We're at the Mounds Mall Special Events Studio.
I know what the problem is. Our lips are froze.
Is it? What's going on? He said, I was mesmerized, but we're going to tell what's going on at Anderson Speedway.
Snow and cold.
It's snowy.
It's snowy.
The birds are mad. Everything's froze up. But it's hot in the office.
It is.
Yes.
When you think about it, 18 days.
Is that
we'll be on the track in 18 days.
We will be. It looks like
it'll be gone.
Looks like by the weekend the weather's going to start warming up, and we're not going to have any more of this 0 and 10 degrees. And we're going to start streaming this because the folks on the radio need to see what you're doing, whatever it is right now with your microphone.
There was something hanging off the top of it, and it was like waving in front of me. I couldn't tell what it was, a piece of fuzz or something. It was driving me crazy.
Short drive.
Yes.
We're very busy in the office getting ready. 18 days until practice, and just about a month before we have our first event.
Race, yes.
So we're starting to get down to crunch time, and everything is looking really, really, really good for the season. And I know you all, as well as us, are ready to get outside and do anything, but especially get to the Speedway and watch some cars go around.
This might be a blessing for us, this cold here this late, because it may just force everybody to just come out the first night. We just jam-packed the place.
Didn't that happen last year?
It did. That's what I'm saying. So
I think what a way to start off the season with the Outlaw Figure Eights.
Actually, 2 figure eight divisions.
And our new
debut
of our new figure eight division. I know there'll be a lot of cars. I've talked to a lot of people, hoping that they can get out there for that first practice.
Yes.
And I'm pretty sure that we'll be able to get on track. Last year, I can't remember how long the cold lasted. I know it was a lot colder last year, but I can't remember how long the cold lasted. But it seemed like once we turned into March, I know we got all 3 of our practices in. So
we were able to get it in. I might still have been, in the 40s or 50s, but we did practice. But by the end of the March, it was comfortable enough where we got out there and go racing. So we did.
Well, I know everybody's got their calendars marked March 28th. What did I say? 6th. I just seen something that said March the 28th, opening night at Anderson Speedway. Drivers and teams need to remind you need to get those memberships and get your numbers reserved for the season. Coming in just a little bit slow, and I know it's because of the weather, but you need to get those in so you can reserve your number for the season. We got a good group of late models coming back. We got a good group of street stocks coming in. Sounds like our figure eight division is going to be strong.
Yes.
Front wheel drives are going to be bigger.
Or compacts now. What?
Yeah.
Yes.
Pro compacts.
Pro compacts. Yes.
And then the Thunder Roadsters will be there in force too. I know there's been 2 or 3 more of those sold over the winter, so we're looking for a pretty strong season, along with all of our special events coming up. The Payless Little 500 is getting even bigger. We're going to have a big announcement to make on it next Tuesday. We actually got a meeting tomorrow night to finalize some things. Huge announcement for the Payless Little 500. It's hard to think how you can make that event any bigger or better, but we're going to do it.
And that's 3 months away.
Really?
Yes.
Tickets are coming in pretty strong for it this year again, too. So
that's good.
Look, if you've got your favorite seat, get it reserved. Of course, if you had reserved seats last year and we've got your information, those seats will be available, I think, until the 1st of May. So you got until then to renew your seats. But if you haven't had seats in the past, you need to get your seats ordered now so you can be assured of a good seat.
67th running. It's hard to believe.
I want to thank Amy Greenway for setting in for us last Tuesday night. We were out of town. Actually, we were in the airport in Orlando while the show was going on. We were supposed to be on an airplane home, and the plane was full, and we didn't have anything else to do, so we let them bump us off and got free tickets and Stayed in Florida another couple of hours.
Even though it was inside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then came back to snowy roads that you couldn't see to drive home in. But it wasn't none too hot while we were down there.
No, it wasn't.
It improved later in the
We
week.
wore earmuffs at the ARCA race, if I recall.
And at New Smyrna on Friday night, it was bone-chilling cold.
Yes, it was.
And speaking of New Smyrna, they had the World Series of asphalt racing, and our very own Dalton Armstrong won the points for that last week and won a feature or two in the process. And so we're really proud of Dalton.
Sure are.
It's his second year in that pro late model. We know them as the Jegs cars, but they're the pro late models, the crate engines. And Dalton, I know, worked very hard, and I know that Craig and his mom and his brother Dakota are very proud of him.
Absolutely. I had a big change from last year. I think he had some issues down there last year, and what a big change from last year to
first
this year.
time he was in the car, he wrecked it in practice. So this year was a lot better for him, and he got up on the wheel, obviously, and brought home a championship. So congratulations. Another Armstrong getting ready to make his mark. And not getting ready to. Dalton's been around for quite a while.
And if you've never been to New Smyrna, that's a cool track to watch racing. Fast half-mile track.
It is a good track to watch racing.
Sure is.
And the folks there are very friendly and accommodating, as they all are in Florida. It was just a great week. I got to spend a couple of days with my folks and our good friends Barb and Leon Murphy, who you all know stay in the trailer there at the racetrack during the summer.
Murphyville.
We stayed with them for a couple of nights and had some good time. But we were over in Daytona for the weekend, and like I said, on Friday night we went to New Smyrna. Then Saturday, Hoosier Tire always has a big dinner in the ARCA garage at the big track, and we went to that and seen a lot of promoters and a lot of people in racing that you don't normally get to see. And
that's right. Had
some good conversations, some good meetings while we were there, and then watched a pretty exciting ARCA race.
It was a good ARCA race, it sure was.
And the one that was really the driver we were really focusing on was Cody Coughlin, and it was his first ARCA race.
Yes.
And he was in a Venturini car, and he qualified, I think, like third or fourth, if I'm not mistaken. And
led it
was
for a while.
Up in the top five, pert near the whole race.
Yes.
Pert near. Can you tell I've been down south?
Actually led it for a little bit.
And led the race for a little bit and ended up finishing fourth, I think it was. So great race, great debut for Cody Coughlin. And we spent some time with John and Di after the race and Cody. And, boy, they were
thrilled.
Ecstatic. Cody was disappointed he didn't win it. That's typical racer. But for his debut at Daytona International Speedway, it was great.
Another one we were watching is our defending Redbud 300 winner, Daniel Hemrick, was up in the top five for some time, too.
Yeah, I think he ended up finishing 11th or 12th.
Something like
that. If you finish in the top 20 in an ARCA race at Daytona, that means you survived.
You've done well.
And they really didn't have any big wrecks in the ARCA race.
Not the big ones, but they'd had some good racing, though.
Let the NASCAR trucks and Infinity Series take care of that.
Yeah, they did that part, but actually the Daytona 500 itself really wasn't that bad of a race this year.
Was actually probably one of the best Daytona 500s I'd watched in years, and I think everybody agree. When you're watching them go three abreast that late in the race, when everybody's being aggressive and not wreck, it was just pretty phenomenal.
It was, and I wish it would have finished that way, but of course I can't remember who blew the tire, cut a tire down or something and caused a wreck, and they had to stop it with a couple laps to go. But had that not happened, I think the finish would have been phenomenal.
I'm pretty sure that one of the Dillon boys clipped the 24 car that caused that.
I'm not talking about the wreck at the end where they came back to caution. I'm talking about the one prior to that, where they stopped it. Yeah.
Oh, where they stopped? Yeah, who was that?
I don't remember. Somebody cut a tire, and I don't.
Oh, it was Justin Allgaier.
Yes.
We'd seen his dad at his dad, call him Gator, was at the Hoosier. He's the Hoosier Tire Midwest. He owns Hoosier Tire Midwest.
Okay.
And that was his son that crashed there late in the race. But it made for a great finish. It was great TV. Just a good race. And I tell you, I don't often compliment NASCAR and International Speedway Corporation as much as I can. I mean, just like us. We've got their faults, and
right.
some of them, and they still got their faults, and I'll not back off on some of them. But I got to tell you what Joey Chitwood and International Speedway Corporation has done and are doing to Daytona Speedway.
It's unbelievable.
Is phenomenal. $400 million they're spending on that place. If you've ever been there, you remember all wooden, and you'd walk underneath the narrow aisles underneath the bleachers, and somebody dump a cooler, you'd get soaked. Well, don't even think about that now. It's a stadium.
It is.
I mean, they've got big, huge concrete concourses, escalators.
3 levels high.
Escalators, you don't have to. And I didn't realize how high it was, and I'm not big on heights. And I come out and I go and get something to eat while you guys are already sitting. I climb up to the top, and I turned around and I had to immediately sit down, and I didn't get up.
No, you did. You didn't move.
We were up high, but you could see the
whole track.
It was just a phenomenal vantage point to watch that race from. And then our good friend, we know a lot of the folks with ARCA, obviously, and our good friend Rocky was in the flag stand. Pretty cool watching him. Unfortunately, the guy they had in the flag stand with him made Rocky, to the TV people and everybody just watching, makes Rocky look bad because he's the main flagman, but that guy dropped a flag on the
layover flag. Yeah.
Caused a caution, and Rocky was just devastated.
He was,
because he figured everybody would think that he was inept.
Yeah,
and he's not. But no. It was a great race. The facilities are just beautiful down Daytona, and when they get it done, and it'll be completely finished, I'm told, by next year's race. I haven't seen any webcams or any pictures, but I was told starting yesterday, they were going to begin tearing down the back stretch bleachers.
Those will be gone completely.
We actually had a meeting with the guy that's doing that.
Yes.
I don't know why, but maybe we can say something sometime.
Yeah, let's hope.
Neat.
Let's
for
hope.
Anderson Speedway.
Yes.
But great trip, short trip, but at least we got away for a couple of days, and there is warm weather somewhere.
Yeah.
we did see it.
It was there the day we were leaving, is when it finally showed up. But anyway, it was a good time, and had a lot of good conversation, a lot of good people, and we're moving forward.
Too bad for Tony Stewart again. He got bit. It's kind of like the Earnhardt jinx.
Yes.
With Tony in that race, and Kyle Busch really took a.
I did not see that one. It was nasty.
It was just one of those freak things. I mean, he had to go a long way. They're making a big deal about the safer barriers. I don't know that it would have kept his legs from getting hurt or not. It's hard to tell. I mean, he had to come so far across the track. That wall is so far back in. It's just one of those flukes that somebody even gets that far back to hit it.
I guess going across the grass, like he had no way of slowing it down. So.
But he had a compound fracture, and kind of a little bit ties to home. Monday morning, a racer that's raced at Anderson several times. He was the first winner of the JEG series when they started. Eric Jones from Michigan, who's been driving Kyle Busch's truck in the Camping World Series and is doing it full time this year, and has got 10 Xfinity rides this year. Had a meeting with Joe Gibbs on Monday about stepping into the Sprint Cup car.
No kidding. Oh, wouldn't that be fantastic?
So, but I understand he's probably going to be in it some. They're looking at now probably David Reagan's going to be in it down at Atlanta.
Well, it was Matt Crafton that raced it.
Yeah, I mean, Matt Crafton actually went home after the truck race and was pulling in his driveway and had to get on a plane and go back.
He finished, 20th, 21st, something like that.
Yeah, and kept it in one piece.
Yeah, he did.
The concern with Eric just jumping in at full time right now until Kyle gets well, and it looks like if that's a compound fracture, you remember Tony when he hurt his leg was out pretty much the whole season. Yeah. If Eric was to just hop in that car, which is hard for any driver to do, especially at that level, and not perform, it could have implications on his future sponsorship deals and the ride. He is in the Joe Gibbs development program, so Eric Jones is going to be at the top. He's going to be racing against our good friend Chase Elliott in the not too distant future in the Sprint Cup Series.
And Chase did put on a good show on Saturday, the Xfinity Series, didn't he? He wasn't involved in that accident.
Yeah,
he was? Okay.
He wrecked there at the end, I think. With
like I said, I didn't get to see the race, but I thought he finished in the top 10. Okay. I was told wrong then because somebody told me he
might
did.
have finished in the top 10. I can't remember when that wreck happened. It happened late, and it might have been right at the start-finish line.
Okay.
But no, Chase was caught up in that melee, and there's a lot of pressure on him this year. But he'll handle it well. I mean, he's got to defend that championship and concentrate on making his mark in the Cup Series and not messing up there. So if anybody can do it, Chase Elliott can. So we're looking forward to following him. We're going to take a quick break and come back and talk about some exciting news coming up at Anderson Speedway. You're listening to Anderson Speedway's Track Talk.
When I was a boy, we had family pitch-in dinners on Sunday, so I knew on Saturdays Mom would be in the kitchen baking pies, and especially sugar cream pies. I will never forget pulling a chair up to the table. I always turned the chair around back so I could perch on my knees while watching Mom take her fingers and flute the pie crust. You know, that little squiggly thing all the way around. And of course, after the pies were baked, we would beg and plead with Mom, only to have her put her foot down and say, nope, we were not going to get any pie until everybody came by tomorrow. But on Sunday at the family gathering, that first bite of pie was always worth the wait. Mom's a little older now, but that doesn't mean we can't enjoy freshly made sugar cream pies together. Now, instead of Mom making them, I pick up a Wix sugar cream pie. They use simple, fresh ingredients because of Wix rigid freshness standards. The wholesomeness and taste of their pies is better than Mom's. But don't tell her I said that. Now you can pick up a Wix sugar cream pie at most of your local grocery stores. Just look for them in the frozen dessert aisle. I'm Brownie, and I can honestly say about Wix pies, you don't just eat them, you enjoy them.
Heart attack? Stroke? Serious injury. A sudden health crisis can happen to anyone, at any time. So when bad things happen, choose good people. St. Vincent Anderson Regional Hospital has the area's most advanced emergency care, with a state-designated Level 3 trauma center, an internationally accredited chest pain center for heart attack patients, and advanced certification for primary stroke care. We have all the resources to deliver the care you need for any serious or life-threatening emergency. St. Vincent Anderson Regional is the only emergency department in the area with an on-site helicopter. And our $27 million state-of-the-art surgery pavilion opens later this year. Bad things can happen to anyone. Thankfully, good people are ready to help. Choose emergency care from St. Vincent Anderson Regional, the spirit of caring. Visit stvincent.org/Anderson Regional to learn more.
Honey, stop! Oh my gosh, that's Diggity's back there.
You mean the new Diggity's Frozen Treat Factory?
I heard it's unbelievable. Everybody's talking about it. They have everything yummy.
Yeah, I heard they have ice cream, yogurt, custard, sorbet.
And gelato, plus fruit smoothies, and that's just the beginning.
I heard Diggity's has over 250 toppings, not 30 or 40 like those other places, and you can even get the candy to go separately.
We can eat outside on their huge patio by the fire, too.
Okay, let's see. Frozen yogurt, ice cream, custard, sorbet, and gelato with 250 toppings, or a plain old frozen yogurt shop with limited toppings?
Diggity's it is!
Diggity's wants to cater your event. Diggity's can set up at your event inside or out and provide delicious smoothies, frozen cappuccinos, candies, and frozen treats to your guests. Diggity's is perfect for weddings, company picnics, group outings, sporting events, festivals, you name it, just call Diggity's. 765-393-0033 today for more information.
MoFab Incorporated, where imagination is the only limitation. We serve residential, commercial, industrial, and municipal customers as your metals warehouse and fabrication center. We do all types of fabrication using the latest technology with unmatched speed, accuracy, and durability on any substrate. Our ornamental division handles all types of interior and exterior work, including rails, fences, gates, and more. So contact us at mofabbing.com to fabricate your dreams of tomorrow today.
This program is a presentation by Anderson Speedway. The content contained in this program is that of the host and guests, and not this station.
We're back. Anderson Speedway's Track Talk. I have no idea.
I have no
what
clue
that
either.
bumper music is. Oh, yeah, that's an old one. I should have waited until he started singing.
There you go.
Guessed it. We're back. Rick Dawson, Gary Mong. We're at the Mounds Mall Special Event Studio. Looks like pretty much all by ourselves.
It is. Kind of quiet
today. But we appreciate you tuning in. Racing season is starting to really heat up. It seems like after the Daytona 500, the interest just starts. And that's one of the great things that NASCAR's done for racing. It gets us out of the cabin fever mode and more about it.
Let's get the thing going. Let's get the show rolling. Let's go. And I'm ready. I know we're both ready.
When I start coughing like that, and I tell you, and you need to
see
feel,
the hand going.
You just kind of repeat yourself, kind of like I do.
Well, I'm not usually not ready for you to break off like that real quick.
The one of the events that is first up on the event schedule for racing in Central Indiana this year will be the Cabin Fever Championship down in Lucas Oil Raceway Park in Indianapolis. CRA will have, I believe, all 4 of their divisions down there. Have they got 4 divisions? Yeah, they got 4 divisions.
I don't believe they're doing the Super
Series will not be there. Their next race is at Toledo on April the 10th. And
I don't think the Jegs is there either.
Jegs Series is there.
Oh, they are there. Okay.
No. Wait a minute. I don't know.
I thought it was the late model sportsman.
Here's an anomaly. They've got their Cabin Fever at Lucas Oil Raceway Park on March the 26th or 28th and 29th, but the first Jegs event is the Cabin Fever 100 on May 2nd and 3rd at Springport Speedway in Michigan. Okay. 2 Cabin Fevers. Huh.
Okay.
So you know why I'm confused now.
I don't know why in May you shouldn't have Cabin Fever in May.
But the Sportsman late models will be down there along with the street stocks, and I'm sure the VOR series will be down there. I don't know if they're having
maybe the top seed modifieds might be the 4 divisions.
Who knows? Had a good conversation with Keith Beeching and Irish Saunders and Ed Kennedy, the owner of Plymouth Speedway. We've got to get up there sometime. Unfortunately, they race on Saturday nights too, but I'm told, and Ed is completely going to redo the bleachers and the seating up there, and it's going to be a pretty neat place. It already is. They've scheduled a World of Outlaws race in October.
That's one they haven't had.
That's huge. That'll be the biggest thing to hit Plymouth since the Blueberry Festival up there. So that'll be pretty cool. Ran into Richard Deaton from Salem Speedway while we were in the pits at ARCA. Had a good long talk with Richard. Things are looking good for down there for the coming season. They've got their usual events, and all capped off with the big Halloween 200 at the end of the year. And then, of course, they got 2 ARCA races, which are, if you've ever get a chance to go to an ARCA race at Salem, they're pretty good.
And I think you also rode down with Charlie Shaw, if I'm not mistaken.
I did. Charlie Shaw from Winchester Speedway was on my plane when I flew down a couple of weeks ago tomorrow. And we had a good conversation with Charlie. They're only going to run, I think, the 3 weekends again this year. And, we're working. We've got the King of the Wings 3-race weekend coming up the end of June.
Right.
Which we have the final race on Sunday. Of course, they race at Winchester on Saturday. We're going to help each other co-promote because we got 2 different crowds. You got an open wheel crowd and a late model crowd.
Yes.
We're going to try to get some folks over at his place, and he's going to do likewise for us because that's his ARCA races on that Sunday. And then
they run at Toledo.
They run at Toledo on Friday night. So, and Ron Drager, who's also the owner of ARCA, owns Toledo Speedway and Flat Rock. And good folks. We met with them, and we have a really good relationship with most all the racetracks around. I mean, it's good to see Tim Bryant from Five Flags Speedway again, and the Knuckles, Jerry and Jeff were both there, and Cindy from Columbus Speedway.
Jerry's a hoot.
Jeff is a hoot.
Jeff. I'm sorry, Jeff.
Jeff is a hoot. I mean, he sees me. I mean, it's just like Laurel and Hardy when we get together. So, in fact, the whole place, I think, just stops and stares at us when we start talking because they never know what's going to happen.
Even his brother didn't know what was going to happen.
No, but they're good folks, and we work together on a lot of things that you don't see. You know, you gotta have different shows, or if you got the same cars, you got different. You know, you got the crowd situation. You try so that there's enough out there for everybody, as long as somebody doesn't get greedy.
Yes.
So
at least you got a lot of tracks that are going to have worked with you, and that's great. Good promoters to work with.
And we do. I mean, the folks at the Speedrome, folks at Lucas Oil Raceway, Salem, of course, Charlie and Kirk over at Winchester. We're pretty lucky that now finally.
Yes, it's taken a while, but we got there.
We've got people that it's kind of like when RJ and I came up with the idea for the Kendall Lake Model Series 20 years ago. We did what was considered impossible at the time. We got Raceway Park, we got Winchester Speedway and Salem Speedway together with us, and all agreed on how to do it. And voila, look what's happened.
Right.
Champion Racing Association.
Almost
CRA.
20 years in existence now.
So that's all it takes, and nobody was hurt because of it. Everybody profited because of it. So hopefully, and the folks we're dealing with now, they don't need to capitalize on us.
Right.
There'll be those that'll, who knows what's going to happen at Fort Wayne. I've heard rumor that, somebody's going in there, former racer, and, and I hope, they fall into the mold and don't
try to break
greedy,
the mold. Yes.
With everybody else. And Vors is talking about doing, something over at Mount Lawn on Memorial Day weekend. That's fine. But we all got to work together, and Dan Redmond has been very upfront with me on that, and we've had good line of communication. I've said in the past, him and Steve Vors are good folks to work with, and they're not going to do anything that's going to hurt Anderson Speedway. So that's what we're looking out for, the best interest.
No, because I think the Vors, don't they have a big show at Anderson this year?
Yeah, they got a big 2-day show.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
They also don't want to jeopardize that.
Exactly. No, I didn't think so.
It's not my first rodeo.
They were looking forward to having one at Anderson and finally put one together, so that should be a great weekend.
It's just fun being around those people.
It is.
And when you leave, and it's not because of me by any stretch of imagination, it is our fans and our competitors. When I go to Florida, or we went to Georgia, or we go to these other tracks, or we go to the PRI show, and people see me, they don't see me because I'm Rick Dawson or you're Gary Mullen. They see it's because we're with Anderson Speedway and what Anderson Speedway means. And we're going to continue that tradition as long as I'm on this side of the sod, or somebody else decides they can.
On the side of the sod. Oh, by the way, before we go off the air, we better say hi to Aunt Jenny.
Yeah, we missed her last week.
We missed her last week. Hi, Aunt Jenny. Hope you're doing well. About 4 weeks, it'll be her birthday.
Yeah, be 96
yes.
years old. Wow,
unbelievable.
I'll be playing euchre tomorrow afternoon at the Shrine Club with my euchre partner, 95-year-old Bill Sutton, and we don't lose.
We don't lose,
or give us any static
That's
either.
Great.
So. We appreciate you spending the time in our kind of idle chatter here these last couple of weeks during the winter until we
get going. Yeah, we get going.
Next week I've got some special guests lined up to call in and talk to. We ran into Davey Hamilton down at the track in Daytona. Davey, of course, is the promoter for the King of the Wing Series, which we're bringing in. Davey also has an IndyCar team. Very interesting, super guy. We've developed a great relationship and working together.
And loves a little 500.
And we're going to try to get him on the air next week. Yeah, and he's ate up with the little 500. Yes. He's going to win it with his son driving.
That's right.
He's stepped out of the cockpit. So that's about it for 30 minutes.
It is.
We appreciate you spending the time with us. We hope you come back and tune in next week, same time, same station. For Gary Mong, I'm Rick Dawson. Have a great week, and we'll see you at the racetrack.